Yo, good morning, guys. I just woke up and I casted a game yesterday, and then now I saw a replay on dawnofwar.info, and I was like, oh, Warboss. I struggle against Warboss. SOM, doesn't matter which hero I choose. Always a tough match, and mostly I can only win if I get away with a Warboss kill or some squad wipe. So as this game is, I spoil it like around the 20-minute mark. I was like, okay, this game is lasting a little, so I decided to just cast it straight away. Yeah, so we have RedRolla as the Warboss up against the brother captain from Potato Slicer. Yeah, more or less one classic opening, slugger, 2-shooter, both noding, dropping a gen. Warboss fighting against the strike team plus the brother captain under the effect of this very handy ability of the brother captain. I forgot the name. So similar to War Cry or something. So in doing this ability, he's doing some splash damage. I think power melee even. And he is protecting his surrounding units with a damage reduction of 20%. Yes, yesterday I was checking some recipes because my girlfriend is like, hey, you promised to cook. And then I saw a recipe basically where you slice potatoes and you slice them thinly and you put them on a baking paper, and then you fry some minced meat on a pan and put some paprika in it and some spices, and then you put this on these sliced potatoes and then you roll it. So you make a roll and then you put it in the oven for like, I don't know, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I don't know, I forgot. So again, his battle cry, but he has to retreat. Warboss doesn't agree. No decaps here. Not next to my big hut. And Strike Squad agrees. That was too cheeky. So he, RedRolla, decided to go for Storm Boys. And Storm Boys are, of course, decent against OM. But looters are also quite decent. But it's just like, I'm not sure, preference mostly. But looters definitely can become a pain in the ass because they stealth and then they reveal themselves shooting suddenly, and the closer you are to the looters and you have no detection, the closer you are, the more damage you have to eat. Interceptors for Potato Slicer. In the next patch they're gonna have a knockdown coming without the Jessica, coming in tier 2. So in the next patch they get this knockdown for free in tier 1 already, so no Justica needed anymore. But they're gonna lose their charge, which makes these classic jumps Not as potent, so they will jump and then you wanna wipe something in between, retreat, which you can do right now on low HP, low count squads and just wipe them out, but in the next patch this is not going to be possible anymore. It's more like blood letters porting over to their targets, like mini teleports. And oh, I've missed, I'm talking again too much bullshit here. So the Nemesis sword for the brother captain, the buff I've talked about earlier is then increased from 20% to 25%, and the DPS of the brother captain are almost doubled. Oh, and I've missed also Big Bang Hammer for the Warboss, which gives a damage buff to the surrounding Orks. Then Spiky Armor, which gives like yeah, thorns damage when he's attacked in melee, or he's attacking in melee. He's dealing extra damage. And then we have the Angry Bits, which let the Warboss charge in. So the Nemesis sword ability was still ongoing. So he dealt some splash damage here and there. So RedRolla noding. Stormtroopers playing cat and mouse, poking the Warboss, and he's like, "Oh wait, I'll come back. I'll come back later." Oh, burners now. Like, this was really power heavy on RedRolla. So he had the Storm Boys, then he decked out his Warboss, and now finally he got these burners for the sluggers. And then I think it's 3 models, maybe 2, I'm not sure, that get power melee damage, which is super strong in early tier 1. So RedRolla was saving up, deck out his Warboss first, and then sluggers lowest priority. So RedRolla noded 2 points after his natural base, natural farm. Yeah, this gives some income, power income, and it's also eating. You can just throw a node sometimes, depending on your opponent, and win some time, give him something to chew, and sometimes you have to ignore nodes. You have to deal with the army, right? So, but here the strike team was patient on this node. Sneaky strike team, but these are keen orcs. This is not looking good. Librarian for potato slicer. I love the Librarian just in general, but in this matchup I also really like him. Can be super useful. But then if you get surprised by a death threat and you just got your resources together for a Librarian, and you have a death threat sitting in your face, or even a war truck, can be super annoying until you have a potent AV on the field. So as I speak of death threat, to 270, 65, Death Threat, joining the battlefield soon. Mantle of Terror for Potato Slicer. Justica Strike Squad, Justica Interceptor, so they have their knockdown now. In next patch they come with the knockdown for free. I said that already, right? Interceptor jump. Mantle of Terror. 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 Giving a health regen. It's not huge, but it's something, right? Mantle of Terror is also really useful when you have the HQ region and your squads just arrived in your base, and then you boost the HP region and can go back to the battlefield much quicker. And now I see how the Nemesis Sword... I mean, usually I would skip this Nemesis Sword. I saved the 25 power. But it's... yeah, the damage mitigation is cool, but it's only 5%, but the damage is almost doubled, I think. Maybe a bit more than doubled. So as the brother captain is slow, sometimes, you know, you just ignore the brother captain and try to focus on killing models instead. But if you keep ignoring this brother captain with his Nemesis Sword, he is dishing out some damage. So Death Threat forcing AV and a beamer could have been useful also against the Death Threat, because he has to get close, right? But then there are Storm Boys, and Storm Boys could just easily jump on a beamer, so no choice here really. You have to go for the Rhino with a less cannon upgrade, which at the moment is 0 power, and then in the next patch, which is just around the corner, next few days I expect the patch to be released, it's 20 power, so that would be 55 plus 20 would be 75 power for, yeah, sure, potent AV. Oh, this boy is blocking the Rhino. Stormboy is trying to get into the retreat path. I think RedRoller's plan here is to damage the... or keep damaging the Rhino and then trying to finish off with Stormboys in the back line. But as the battle goes on, plans have been changed. Oh, this is almost a dead Rhino here. There's so much going on. Oh, this is... oh, almost dead Rhino. What happened here? Some dead Orks porting on the shooters. But this is just too much for interceptors. But they're almost full health, but now they're dropping HP. And there is Mind Blades on the interceptors and the Psych Out Grenade, which is suppressing and burning energy. After, oh, I've missed this dead Rhino. Yeah, here, Mantle of Terror. Terror! Oh, man. Terror. I tend to say Mantle of Terror. This would suit Chaos much better, right? Mantle of Terror. new war gear for the Chaos Lord. Sergeant, Stormtroopers, capping. Brother Captain has to retreat. Oh, RedRolla going for tier 3 already, and there is a Dreadnought with a Dreadnought Claw to deal with this Death Dread and the Orks. Sanctuary and some stupid Orks. Librarian has to retreat. Interceptors intercepting. Strike team capping. Warboss unchanged. This Death Dread doesn't want to take this fight. Power Claw coming up for the Warboss. So much going on. Dreadnought hunting for the tank busters. Yeah, he only is losing models here. And this Dreadnought found his arch enemy here. Smite from the Librarian. Brother Captain dead. Maybe the Brother Captain's remainings going to be the next Dreadnought. I'm not sure how it works in the Warhammer 40k lore, but some dead or almost dead heroes, their souls, I don't know if they need psychers for this or something, if they put their soul into a Dreadnought so they can keep serving the Imperium. Yeah, this should be a very Dreadnought. I don't know what Potato Slicer had in mind. Maybe winning some time for something. Maybe winning some time for his tier 3. Let's check resources. Kind of broke. 300 power for RedRolla. So even if his farm would be raised, he would have enough power for anything. Yeah, this node survived. There was no time to take this one down. Power Claw. I love the voice acting on Orks. It's so cool. I always have to laugh when I hear them. I'm not sure. I've played some Orks back in the day when I played actively 10 years ago or something. Never played them much though. I'm not sure if Orc mains get annoyed a little or stressed with all the Orc voices. I find them super funny. Now I was like, man, why I'm not really playing Orcs? But maybe as a Orc main, maybe you get annoyed. I'm not sure. You can tell me. This is calling for a grenade from the sergeant. Yeah, bang. Brother Captain. Let's check resources. Okay, potato slicer, saving up, RedRolla, decapping. The Sanctuary of the Librarian is super handy to prevent exactly these kind of things. With this Sanctuary knockdown, which he was only able to... Maybe it was on cooldown. But he can manage to cap. No, a charge from the Warboss. Oh wait, I heard something. Oh yeah, Paladins. Gonna take out that Death Threat. And this Warboss is fucking ballsy. Can he kill him? 35. That was ballsy. Tank busters, he's not reinforcing them. There's no vehicle threat. So saving up some resources, not reinforcing, and also keeping the upkeep low. Paladins with their hammers, they can deal with vehicles much better compared to Grey Knights. But Grey Knights have sick infantry damage. Oh, sluggers. Not having a good time today. Stormtroopers decapping. Librarian protecting this VP, which he's really capable of. Burst on the Warboss to slow him down a bit and steal some energy in order to prevent abilities. Yeah, but he doesn't even need Sanctuary here to protect this victory point. Oh, 13 HP on this shooter. Oh, a second looter, looter tank for RedRolla. Canticle Circle. It's health regen and I think also energy regen. Not much, but it can turn the tides of battle. Warboss charging in, attempting to decap maybe. Looter tank doing decent damage against Paladins. But Interceptors and Strike Team can fight off these sluggers. Oh, and this is a dead Warboss. And RedRolla calling it GG. Well played. Yeah, super nice match. I enjoyed it. It's a matchup I'm struggling with as OM, so well done Potato Slicer, and RedRolla also played his cards well, going heavily on the Warboss in terms of war gear. So he purchased 3 war gears during tier 1. So he invested heavily power-wise and made him really a deadly foe. Not sure if he maybe could have skipped 1 gear and went for tier 2 a bit earlier, fielding the death threat a bit earlier. I'm not sure, or getting the burners for the sluggers a bit earlier, rather than more like end of tier 1. Yeah, if RedRolla lasted longer here, I think these 2 looter tanks, they could they could win the game actually. They could, but then also his infantry was like super decimated already, and then the field presence of strike team and interceptors would be, yeah, they can just defend any victory point, as RedRolla doesn't have infantry left. I actually didn't notice how RedRolla lost his Storm Boys. Yeah. So as Orc, what personally I have more problems with is like a Warboss not going for any war gear, then looters or Storm Boys, and then a bit quicker tier 2, and then a War Truck or Death Dread, and then you're like, okay, then OM wouldn't have the chance to field the Librarian first, then it would be Rhino first, and then meanwhile Tank Busters arrive already, and then yeah, it's getting sweaty for the Ordo Malleus. But I've also seen lot of replays where the Warboss is getting decked out in tier 1, so on higher levels of play, I think both ways, and maybe also it's map dependent, both ways are the way you can play Orks. Yeah, so well played to both players, was exciting, and I've learned something, I guess. And next patch, of course, the interceptors will be better with their knockdown already in tier 1. Yeah, but of course at the cost of no retreat wipes anymore. So oftentimes you use Purify on the interceptors, and then you jump into the retreat path, and then they will just like look into the landscape, and yeah, they cannot reach. They will just teleport maybe closer, these mini teleports, but they will not be able to strike and wipe. Yeah, well played, good game, enjoyed it. See ya.